UFC 326 goes down tomorrow night. So I'm going to be going through the entire card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event, giving you my picks and predictions on what I think is going to go down. So let's go. All right, and now to kick off the card, we have Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Bellato. This card has a lot of debutantes coming off the Contender Series specifically. Luke Fernandez being one of them. He never really fought much comp on the regional scene from what I saw. This is a tough one because it's like we don't know how good Luke Fernandez is because it's obviously his debut. And we know Rodolfo Bellato's not great or really that good. He's had close fights with, no, I mean, well, it's gonna kind of surprise everyone, I think, but I am gonna take Rodolfo Bellato in this fight just because I think he is the UFC vet in this fight. He ultra durable. I think Luke Fernandez. I think his finishing, him finding a finish. I think it leaves a little bit after that first round. Um, but Rodolfo, he's good. He's got heavy low kicks. I mean, he's kind of like a really, really poor man's Alex Pereira. One thing I really don't like is he throws like single shots on the feet, especially with when it comes to punches. Doesn't really follow it up with anything. But his recovery is insane. Like he'll get dropped to the point where it's like, all right, it's out. But then it's just scramble back up to his feet, use the cage, get back up to his feet, which I don't think Luke Fernandez has really had an opponent that's not unfinishable, but like has the ability to not get finished when they're in those kind of deep spots. I'm really taking Bellato on this mainly just experience. He's been in there. I think he's fought tougher guys. I think Navajo Sterling. I think he's better than Luke Fernandez. Jimmy Crute, maybe. Who knows? We just don't know how good Luke Fernandez is yet. But yeah, I'm gonna take Rodolfo Bellato off the veteran status. I think he'll be able to win the second and third round after dealing with an onslaught in the first round. So yeah, we'll rock with Rodolfo. Moving on, we have Rafael Tobias versus Dayar Nurgajai. Um, I went back and forth with this fight a lot. And then I really started to watch some of Rafael's fights on the regional scene where it's kind of he just looks really uncomfortable on the feet. He just looks like he does not want to be on the feet throwing strikes with people. He has good power. He has decent striking, but it just doesn't look like he wants to be on the feet at all. He has KO and it's mainly off of like ground and pound stuff. Um, a good back taker, has some good submissions. Where Nurgajai, he was 10-0 undefeated coming into the UFC. I think he won on the Contender Series, but then these past two fights, he's lost both by sub. And that's left me in a whole whirlwind of I don't know how, or I don't know. Because I feel like Rafael will be able to sub him. But at the same time, on the feet, I don't think he'll be able to close the distance to be able to get to a takedown. Where Nurkic, his ground game's not bad by any means. The only thing I really can say I really don't like about Nurkic is he has like this. I don't know if it's like an autism thing, a fucking. But he's like when he's on the feet, he's always touching his eye. He's always like scraping his eye. And if you're closing your eye, that's how you get smoked. You know, you can't close your eyes when you're in a fight. And Rafael has a really sneaky lead left hook, which is good, which is really nice. But Nurgajai's 0-2 in the UFC. He needs a win. He knows he needs a winner. He's getting cut. Where Rafael, he shows he's 1-1 or 1-0, but I think he's like 14-3. So he has losses outside of on the regional promotions. Again, I don't love this pick, especially picking two big underdogs to kick off the card. One of them's gonna be right, or we go 0-2 and I just look like an idiot. But yeah, I'm gonna take Nurgajai. I think his stand up is much more fluid, a little more comfortable. He throws kicks pretty well. Where on the feet, I'm not a fan. I wasn't. It didn't give me any butterflies watching Rafael throw on the feet. So I'm gonna take Nurgajai. I think he has the ability to kind of win the minutes. Where Tobias is, he has the ability to get the finish. He can win the moments where Nurgajai is gonna win the minutes. So if it's a finish, man, we got screwed. Same with the Luke Fernandez fight. It's either a first round finish or the vet's getting it done. So I'm gonna rock with Nurgajai. Rock with him. Moving on, we have Sumit Werji versus Jesus Aguilar. Now, this is an interesting fight. Jesus Aguilar, I think my face cam's in the way. Scroll up. Look at the height. 5'8" to 5'4", and then look at the reach. 72 to 62, almost 10 inches of reach. And then 4 inches of height advantage. Both coming off wins. I'm going to take Sumit Werji in this fight. I think he's going to be able to kind of stick and move on the outside. I know I say that a lot. But truly, at 125, a 5'4" Jesus Aguilar, it's like, if he doesn't get it to the ground in this fight and use those stubby little T-Rex arms to be able to kind of cinch up a choke, because honestly, with those small of limbs, that squeeze is going to be crazy. But with Sumit Werji, he has decent scrambles. He does struggle to get off the ground, especially off his back. But I don't know if this fight's even going to make it to the ground. His takedown defense is all right, but his stand-up is pretty solid. He has good straight punches down the pipe, really long, especially 5'8" for 125. It's just like kind of like a Charles Johnson-esque build. So as long as he can keep his head out, and that's the thing, 18-7, but like 5 or 6 of his losses are all by submission. And you're going in against a guy who's, I would consider him to be kind of like a guillotine expert, a guillotine savant. So as long as he can keep his head out of a guillotine, I think he'll be able to stick and move, stay at range, beat him up on the feet, and just kind of walk around. Don't let him cut you off against the cage. Jesus Aguilar, he will shoot a lot of takedowns. He can shoot a lot of takedowns. Yeah. He's pretty open on the feet, especially when he gets into those kind of brawly situations. Jesus Aguilar, his chin does open up, so I think Sumit Werji, once he gets kind of past that, once it's into that second round, I think he'll kind of really hit flow state on the feet, and we could either see a TKO or a decision win out of Sumit Werji here. But yeah, let's move on, get out of the early prelims. Now we are on, check this shit. Cody Durden versus Namjaral Tumendembarel. I think I got that. But yeah, this is an interesting fight. Kind of again, like, Tumendembarel hasn't had a crazy amount of fights in the UFC. I think he's at 3. Where Cody Durden, he's fought pretty much the who's who. This is a big step down in competition for him. And that's why I think it's gonna be good for him, because it's get your feet back under you, get your confidence back. Where Tumendembarel, it's kind of like a buzzsaw. He's like, he goes in there, he's super open on the feet, can get caught. He has solid grappling. But Cody Durden, he's just got that grimy, gritty style where it's fight you up against the cage. It's just always in your face, in your face, in your face. Kind of a more white trash version of Colby Covington, maybe. Maybe. But Tumendembarel, he does have good power on the feet. I could see him smoking out Cody Durden, because that's how it feels with these Cody Durden fights as of recently. It's like Doing good, doing good. Win the first round, win the second round. Maybe not. But then he gets KO'd. He gets sparked out. And going up against a guy who's pretty unexperienced, only 10 pro fights. I like his odds in this, especially, and he's coming up a division. Taminda Morel, he's coming up to 135. So I think that works for Cody Durden in this fight. I think he'll be able to get his grappling off a little bit better. Another underdog. But yeah, I'm taking Cody Durden. I get why he's an underdog, but at the same time, it's kind of how the Cody Garbrandt situation. There are so many Codys on this card, by the way. My head's going a million miles a second trying to figure out things to say. 3 Codys total on the card, I want to say. But they're all underdogs, too. That's crazy. I've got Durden in this one. I think he's going to get it to a decision. Yeah, I think Taminda Morel, I think his biggest thing in this fight is if he can keep the takedowns off, shuck off all the takedowns, because Cody's going to be shooting them. I'm assuming we're going to see at least 3 shots per round out of Cody. I think Taminda Morel might have the speed advantage, but after Cody gets him down, lays on him a little bit, I think he should be able to slow him down just a little bit and be able to kind of control him over 3 rounds. Probably a 29-28, lose the first or lose the second, but I think Cody wins this one by decision. Moving on, we have Ricky Turcios versus Alberto Montez, another debutant off of the Contender Series. Tough one. This is another back and forth toss up in my head. Ricky Turcios is coming up to 145 for this fight, so maybe we'll have a little more power out of Ricky Turcios. Really good striking, or not really good striking, but good striking, good grappling, flows well between the two. Cardio for days. It's just he has no power on the feet. He has nothing that's really gonna like sting. Like he'll hit you with a good shot, and then that's what's gonna set up a double leg or set up against the cage. Where Montez, like his striking's not great. He doesn't like. I don't get why he doesn't like. He doesn't throw punches. He won't throw flurries. He won't get into those combinations. He switches stance as well. But he's really good subs. Really good at really fast attack subs on the ground. He is kind of a submission over position type of fighter, so he'll let the position slip if there's a chance of the submission happening, which I don't love to see because I'm in 90 but majority of the time it doesn't happen and you roll out and then you're on bottom position and you're kind of screwed. This is just another tough one where it's below average UFC fighter versus a kind of sought after talent outside of the UFC. So you really have no idea where they're at, what their skill level is. So I'm gonna rock with Ricky Turcios. I think he fought Fernando Sopai. Sopaj really good. I thought he looked good in that fight. He lost, but Sopai's good. And he's the vet in this fight. He hasn't looked the same since the Ultimate Fighter, unfortunately. But Brady Highstand win. I think that's aged decently well. Brady's out. I think he had an ACL injury that he's coming back from. But I've got Ricky Turcios in this. I think he can win it by decision. I think it's just a little too soon for Montez. How old's Montez? I won't even say on here. But yeah, I'm gonna take Ricky Turcios. I think it'll be a 29-28 either way, but I'm gonna lean Ricky Turcios. And I wanna say he's an underdog in this too. This is a big underdog card. So moving on. We have Dante Johnson versus our second Cody. We have Cody Brundage versus Dante Johnson. Cody Brundage coming in after like a month after getting slimed out by Cam Rouston, taking this on short notice because Dante Johnson was supposed to fight Dusko Chodrovic, which would have been a cool fight. But Dante Johnson coming off of his second round sub over Cedric Dumas. Yeah, Cody's gonna get fucked up. He's this jack of all trades kind of fighter. Which in it sounds good. It's like, oh, you're just kind of solid everywhere. But really, that just means you're mid everywhere, and that means if someone is good on the feet, they're gonna smoke you on the feet. And then on the other hand, or on the other end of the stick, it's if they're a grappler, they're gonna fuck you up in the grappling. So Cody, unless it's another jack of all trades, yeah, he's gonna get shit on. Dante Johnson, good on the feet, has good power, starts fast. He does leave himself a little bit open during those flurries. But Cody Brundage, I have to give flowers where flowers are due. In that Cam Ralston fight, he was landing shots back. He had Cam Ralston in a little bit of trouble, not anywhere like fight finishing potential, but enough to be like back Cam Ralston up and be like, yo, let me chill out. Let me play a little better defense here. But Cody Brundage just doesn't have it, especially to win big fights like this. So I've got Dante Johnson pretty easily. I think first or second round finish, probably by ground and pound. He's got nasty ground and pound. Yeah, keep it short and sweet. I don't keep it short and sweet because I think this fight's gonna be short and sweet. I think Cody Brundage is just kind of taking these fights just so you can be like, yo, I took my last fight on short notice. You guys can't cut me if I lose. So it's like if him taking this fight kind of like guarantees him a next one. It's just like whatever. I get smoked by a up and comer. So whatever. We'll take Dante Johnson easy, but don't put money by it. I think it's like minus like 700 or something. Is this the last prelim? It is. We have the featured prelim. Cody Garbrandt, our third Cody. Versus Zhao Long. So Zhao Long, look at his record. It's like, wow, this dude's the vet in this fight. He's fought all. It's the whole like road to the UFC Asian. That's everyone he's fought. He's fought no one but Asians. I know this is weird, but this is a big step down for Cody Garbrandt, and I think this is an easy one. I think this is an easy fight for him to get back on the horse. He has really good striking. Cody, we know what Cody Garbrandt does. We just are waiting for him to do it, and I think this is the perfect opponent for him to be able to go out there and kind of be like, okay, Cody of old. Like, it's a great day when Cody Garbrandt wins. Not comparing him to Piotr Jan by any means, but when Piotr was on that 3-fight losing streak and he snapped that by beating Song Yadong, it was like, man, this is sick. Nice. Like, we're all back together. The gang's back together. Jan's winning fights again. That's how it's going to be tomorrow when Cody Garbrandt goes out there. I could see him getting the TKO or winning by decision. I think he could play the long, slow game on the outside and kind of get in and out. Because he doesn't throw like the most normal boxing combinations. He kind of he'll throw like a 5-3 just to get people off of like, whoa. He has really good footwork. He's really fast. His grappling's good. I don't know. I feel like for Cody Brundage in this fight, I feel like this is like, or not Cody Brundage, Cody Garbrandt. I feel like this is like a picture perfect matchup to get that win, get back in the win column. I've got him by KO or decision. Zhao Long, he is solid though, but Big step up in competition for him. Big step down for Cody. I think Cody handles this one. Moving on, we have the rematch that no one asked for, but I don't think anyone's really mad. We got RoboCop versus Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira did slime him out in the first fight by like left, kind of like such a sick count. It was like fake through a left hook, like went a quarter of the way on a left hook, fired right hand, missed, and then he was like RoboCop was standing like this, just a check left hook, boom, slot like dead cold. But they've both won and lost since then. Bruno Ferreira obviously coming off of a pretty nice win over Marvin Vettori. I thought he was going to be able to get a finish in that fight, but Marvin Vettori, blockhead Vettori. No one finishes that guy. But I think it's going to happen the same thing again. I think RoboCop isn't. I think his chin is just it's not all there. I think he is kind of chinny, and he does have gas tank issues. So if he doesn't get the first or second round TKO or sub on Bruno, I think Bruno will be able to kind of have a little more longevity with his finishing potential, maybe. But yeah, this is like early prediction fight of the night. This right here, without a doubt. It's interesting to fight like rematch fights like this because in the first fight I thought RoboCop would win, and in this one I still think he has the ability to win, but I think Bruno, they both do things like similar things extremely well. They both have great arm bars, great pressure. Oh Lord. Great pressure on the feet. Good, like they're both just fast starters. The first round between these two, I bet they kind of have the game plan to like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna like see what's happening. Because in that first round of the first fight, it was kind of Gregory was kind of able to like walk him around, kind of beat him on the foot positioning, and then had Bruno backed up against the fence, and then Bruno just uncorks the left hand and is just out cold dead. Where in this fight, I don't think Gregory Rodriguez really has the edge in finishing potential, where I think Bruno Ferreira does. And I just don't think Bruno's as finishable as Greg is. And Gregory, his chin, he was doing well against Cannonier, and then he gassed in like the second or third round, and Cannonier came out and finished him. And I think Bruno Ferreira probably would beat Jared Cannonier right now. I don't know, that might be hot, but I think Bruno Ferreira beats Jared Cannonier. I think he beats Gregory Rodriguez again by KO. So yeah, I'm gonna take Bruno. I think he's slight underdog, not crazy, but we'll take the underdog where we can get him. Moving on, we have Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. You could say this is the picture-perfect matchup for Drew Dober, honestly. Yeah, he loves to slime him out. He's done it. Terrence McKinney. More names aren't coming to my head. Did he slime Bobby? Joe. But Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, he's on like a career resurgence. I think he's like 4-1 in his last 5. Where Dober is not. His last fight with Kyle Prepolek looked really, really bad. He had to kick him in the nuts to finally get him to go down. There's finishing potential on both sides, but I'm seeing more finishing potential for Michael Johnson, especially not even just finishing potential, but just winning this. I think he's going to be winning the minutes and possibly the moments where Drew Dober, he kind of wades his way through and then he'll land. But the thing with a Drew Dober fight is the other person is always landing on Drew Dober. They are always landing shots. His striking defense is not good, especially in a matchup with Michael Johnson where he is the shorter guy, the shorter reach, And I think Michael Johnson's just going to be able to snipe on the outside and catch him on the chin. I don't think Drew Dober's chinny at all. Obviously, he's been finished. Manuel Torres clubbed his head 30 times. So who knows? That could have broke it, but look at that Minecraft head, dude. He's not getting rocked by single shots. I think Michael Johnson's just going to be too fast. Unk still got the speed. He is just very clean. It's just with Michael Johnson, you don't know what version you're getting. Honestly, but with this four fight win streak, and obviously we see him beat Daniel Zellhuber, and it's like, wow, that's a big win for Michael Johnson. But then you see Bobby Green go out and finish Daniel Zellhuber, and it's like, how good of a win was that? Because I don't think Daniel Zellhuber is fucking good. I think he's pretty terrible, actually. But yeah, I think Michael Johnson gets this one done. He has less flaws in his game than Drew Dober. Drew Dober's kind of if he hits you with that shot, boy, look out. But if he doesn't, stick and move the outside, be fast on your feet. Don't let him corral you up against the cage. It's just a bad look looking that bad against Kyle Prepolek, I think. So yeah, Michael Johnson, KO or decision. I think that's a pretty easy one. And they're at like a pick'em right now. Moving on, we have Rob Font versus Chihuihuis. Rob Rosas Jr. El Disgusto. This is an interesting fight. It's almost like a Dana White's Contender Series debutante against Rob Font. Just because how big the skill difference is in where Rob's been fighting and where Raul Rosas Jr. has been fighting. This is a true pick'em. I think this is a closer fight when it comes to picking, because you have one person who, in Raul Rosas Jr., striking, not great. Font, really good striking. Good footwork, fast, accurate, has a really good jab. And on the other end of the stick, Raul Rosas Jr. Grappling. Great. Pressure. Attack subs. He shoots a lot of takedowns, and he's very athletic with his takedowns. Where Rob Font is, his submission defense, it is really good. I'll give him that. His just ability to just be held down. That's what really makes me nervous in this fight, because I was there firsthand. I was out in the crowd, third row, at UFC Nashville. Rob Font versus Corey Sandhagen. Bless up Corey Sandhagen, my boy. Corey Sandhagen tears his tricep in, like, I think it was the second round, and was still able to hold Rob Font on the ground, not take any damage, and kind of just sit in half guard, and just move in between those, get into side control on Rob Font. And I think Corey Sandhagen, Raul Rosas Jr., it's like this. We have no idea where he's at. We know his grappling is good, though. If Raul Rosas Jr. doesn't get his head boxed off and he can have a good gas tank in this fight, because that Vince Morales fight was dog shit and it was close and he did not look great in that fight. It's tough. It is. I'm going to take Raul Rosas Jr. by decision. I think he'll be able to get his takedowns off. It comes down to his gas tank at that third round. I think the second round can be a swing round. That's where Rob Font's really going to be able to come into his boxing, really kind of figure out where he's at on the feet. Where I think Raul Rosas Jr. in that first round, I think he's going to come out really athletic, really fast, get his takedown, kind of camp there, get about 2.5 minutes of control time. The second round, that's where it's going to be, can he keep getting his takedowns off? Can he close the distance? Can he keep doing this? Can he keep it up? Can he keep the work up every round? And I think he's had a lot of time off from his last fight. He's been off for a good while. Rob Font's been a little more consistent with his fights. But I think Raul Rosas Jr. having the bigger frame in this fight, I think that's gonna do him well. He does have the reach disadvantage, which I really don't like. Just because Rob Font, his jab is really good, and Raul Rosas Jr. is like only set up on the feet he has is from a takedown. Is like, oh look, I'm going at your feet. I'm gonna get you, and just boom, big overhand right. Which an overhand right from the gods is always nice, but on a good vet like Rob Font, I'm not sure shots like that are really gonna be your bread and butter. Saying all that, I'm still gonna take Raul Rosas Jr. Submission or decision, I'd say. Could he be the first person to submit Rob Font? I think he could be. I really do. I think his how aggressive he is with submissions, I think that'll be well worth his time, especially with Rob Font, because he hasn't fought anyone like Raul Rosas Jr. His ground game, it is special. It is aggressive. It's precise. It's accurate, and being this young, it kind of gives you like a you don't know anything other than you're great, so you have no reason not to be. So I'm gonna pick Raul Rosas Jr. I think he can get the sub, or he wins it by decision. Moving on to our co-main event, we have Kyle Bohalio versus Reina de Rira. This is crazy that Kyle Bohalio is now listed at 6'1", but I think in one of his first fights he was listed at like 5'10". Both coming off their losses. Obviously we all were Rainer DeRitter. We're like he fast track him to a title, and then he gets to Brendan Allen and shits the bed. Kyle Bohalio, he's was on a huge win streak, and then he just kept getting eye poked against Amavov. Anytime you start to get momentum, it's just John Jones method. Gets you eye poke you. When it comes down to this fight, it's very interesting fight. I think we can call Rayner a good striker at this point, just because it doesn't look great. Just because it's not appealing to the eyes, doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's kind of like DDP, extremely like DDP when it comes to having that funky style, but it works. Where Kyle Bohalio, he has good stand up. I think it in the act of perfection or like it being like crisp and pretty, I do give him the edge in it. But when it comes to the grappling and the pressure and the strength, I give that to Rayner. I think he's going to be able to implement the cage push pretty well. Throws those knees to the body really well. They hurt. And with a shorter opponent like Kyle, those are going to be landing like right in that solar plexus area. I've got Rayner in this one. I think he's around like a plus 210 underdog, I want to say. So another big underdog pick. Talking this much just makes me yawn. But the thing with Kyle is like those guys that he was kind of struggling with on the way up. I think I think he beats him much easier than Kyle was able to. And I think that shows. I know it's kind of MMA math ish. But I think if Rainier, when he came into the UFC, were to fight the first two or three guys, or the second or third guy that Kyle had fought, I think Rainier walks through him where I was consistently going to these kind of tough decisions where he's taken quite a bit of damage. And he does have that nasty cut under his eye that Cannonier gave him that could open up again. Who knows? Rainier does have every physical advantage in this one. Height, reach, all that. Not the greatest co-main event we could ask for, especially for a pay-per-view on a titleless main event. But neither here nor there. I'm gonna take Rainier in this fight. He looked really good against Brendan Allen until the gas tank was gone. So I'm just gonna pray that he comes back with a great gas tank. I think Kyle's been drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid. I think he's fed into the Fighting Nerds hype. He is the Fighting Nerds leader. But I do really like Kyle. Don't get me wrong. I probably like Kyle better than I like Rainier, but as we're gonna see in this main event prediction, feelings don't matter. It's what you think. What you think at face value when you see the fight. So moving on. Champion by his name. Max Blessed Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Max Holloway will always have my heart. I love Max. And just because I think he's going to lose, I'm still going to be rooting for Max in this fight. I will be rooting against one of my picks. I do not care. I just think Charles's ground game's at a completely different level right now. I think it's at a level that we haven't saw. And Max hasn't fought a grappler. Max hasn't fought a big, strong, athletic grappler like Charles Oliveira. And I'm not buying into the Max Holloway 155 move up. He's got crazy power in his hands. I like Dustin. I like Max. Max is honestly top 3 favorite fighter of mine of all time. And it feels so weird trying to like, he's going to lose and this is why. Because even in that Ilya fight, I was trying to explain to everyone, I was like, if he does, this is what he has to do. When this is what he does, he's going to win the fight. And he was doing that. Then he got caught. Where in this fight, I think Charles' stand-up has gotten good enough to the point where it's not going to be one-way traffic on the feet where Max is just smoking him, walking him down. Because I think I would say Charles damn near has the power advantage on the feet, where Max is just, we know what Max does. He just volume, the arsenal of strikes he's throwing at you, that tight and close spinning back kick. I just think Charles Oliveira, his bag taking ability and his wrestling specifically, I think are going to be the key to victory in this one. I think Max Holloway, when he does get into those like takedown-ish situations, uses the fence to get up. He gives up his back quite often in those those exchanges. And I think Charles is just so good at latching up and taking the back. I think we're gonna see Max get subbed. I think we're gonna see Max get subbed in like the second round, probably. Which is terrible. I love Max. I don't like the BMF belt by any means. And honestly, the winner of this fight they're talking about for Arman. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if I would rather watch Charles fight Arman than watch Max. Saying if Charles didn't already fight Arman, I'd much rather watch Charles fight Arman than watch Max fight Arman. But this fight's really gonna show is if he has the takedown, if he has his takedown defense that dialed in against someone like Charles Oliveira, and he's not able to get onto him, take his back, finish him off that. I think that's gonna show that Arman Sarukian is like, it's gonna be a tough fucking fight for you to be able to go in and take down, because that's all Arman will be able to do against Max is go in, take him down, run a clinic on the ground with him. Where am I saying that's what Charles is gonna do to Max? No, I don't think he's gonna go in there and run a clinic on him. But I think first round, Max is going to be doing his thing, look good, look really good, moving on the outside. Footwork looks great, as always. And then second round, kind of same deal. And then once Charles gets the takedown, that's when I'm just, ugh. But it goes back to these two things that I look at. Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. I don't love that. I really don't. I don't love that Max got dropped and almost guillotined by Charles, because if that's Charles in that or by Dustin, if that's Charles in that situation, that fight's over. I really think that. I think that if Max gets into any trouble on the feet, if he gets clipped up on the feet at all, which he's been clipped in his past 3 fights, he's been dropped in his last 3 fights, even if they don't want to count the one in the Gaethje fight, he did get dropped in the 4th round. And then he got sparked. And then he got dropped by old man Poirier. I'm going to be honest, Poirier didn't look good in that fight. It's like we're watching the Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett fight. You can leave a fight going, wow. Even if they win or lose, you can be like, wow, they didn't look very good. Gaethje and Pimblett, all that fight showed me is both of them lose to everyone in the top 5. Gaethje, slimed by Max, slimed by Charles, would get fucked up by Armand. And then Ilya's literally going to decapitate him. I am putting this house on Ilya by KO in that fight. It's going to be such easy money. But back to this. As much as it pains me, I'm taking Charles Oliveira by 2nd round submission. I don't think Max's power is at the level that we think it is. I think it's a little inflated right now, coming off of the Gaethje win, being able to kind of drop Poirier around, just beat the shit out of Poirier, really. I think everyone in the top 5 would have beat Poirier at that time. I just hate picking against people that I love this much. And I would truly say, put it in the love, like, I love Max Holloway. If anything were to happen to Max Holloway, it would affect me worse than Kobe Bryant did. Put it that way. We're going to do Bronx. I'm not thrilled about it. Max is my boy. I will be rooting for Max in this fight. I just have to go with what my gut thinks, what my brain thinks. So with that, these are my UFC 326 predictions. Tomorrow, I think prelims start at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So, yeah. Review of the card will come out Sunday. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Join the Telegram. There are 3 parlays per card in the Telegram. So head over there, join that, make some money. We're close to $1,000 profitable, I want to say, this year. So, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, all the great stuff. Catch you guys Sunday for the recap. Peace and love.